So in this video we will be creating this shot for Magnum and we will be doing it inside of Blender. 4 steps. Step 1, we will be modeling Magnum ice cream. Step 2, we break this model into its different fragments using cell fracture add-on, and we will be using an external objects to scale them down. Step 3, we insert another layer inside this, which we will be seeing once we scale these fragments down. Step 4, one last step, we break this geometry using an external object so that one last layer is seen something like this. So 4 steps. Now completely follow along tutorial. Let's begin. Step 1, let's start with the modeling part. You can find this image in the link in the description, or you can use any image of Magnum. I will go into the front view and spawn in a cube. Let's give it a certain amount of thickness, and I will roughly align it with our ice cream at the back. Let's give it a certain amount of height as well, a bit at the bottom. Let's give it a control 3 or control 2, up to you, some amount of subdivisions. Let's give it a loop cut like this and one more like this, and I think overall thickness should be a bit less. Let's give it a loop cut onto the sides, maybe reduce the thickness. Now let's select all the side edges and push them a bit inwards. Alright, that's that. Let's match it with our main subject at the back. I think there should be one more loop cut, and these vertices should go a bit up, and I think these vertices also should be closer to each other, so there's our basic shape. Now let's make our central circle. This part is a bit tricky, but no worries. I will press double G so that I can move it along this line. Let's bring it down a bit. Now I'm gonna press Control Shift and B and bevel it like this. Now make sure that this is squarish. Alright, press double G again, or maybe just drag it down. It doesn't matter that much. Just make sure that this is looking squarish. Now select this face, press I, just insert it, and E to extrude it inwards just a little bit, and maybe scale it and press I again, or maybe we should just leave it till there. Alright, and I'll simply just select all of it and make sure that nothing behind is selected, and I will simply scale it up to match our main subject. I think this one is a bit bigger. Let's make it a bit smaller. I think that is still big. Let's make it that much. Alright, I think that is okay. Similarly, for the bottom part, I chose a plane, resized it, gave it some solidify modifier, beveled it, and shoved it inside of it. Now the final part is this M. This can be tricky if you can model it, but I have an SVG file of it, so simply just import it. File, import, and there should be an option called scalable vector graphic, and you will find this SVG file in the link in the description, and open it up and you will find something right at the origin. If you don't find it straight away, just look up for this collection of the file, and there it is. Alright, set origin to geometry. I will RX90. Let's place it right here. Go into the front view and simply just look up the scale of it. I think this will be alright. I will give it some thickness. First of all, Control A, visual geometry to mesh. Let's give it some thickness. I think this is fine. Let's just simply place it and forget about it. That's done. And now let's begin the real work. As I said, we need 3 layers. I will copy it 3 times. 1. Let's go into the edit mode of this. Shift the wireframe mode. Select all the faces and press Alt S, and simply just make it go inside of the first layer. I think this one will be alright. So that we have our first layer and second layer is inside of it. Now for this viewport shading for different colors, you just go here and choose object color to random. You must have had object, just choose random here. Alright, now one last layer which will go inside of our second layer, Shift T. Now for this particular layer, press Shift H so that we only see this object. For the last layer, we do not need this part. I will simply just switch off the subdivision for now and delete this part, just the faces, and select all of it. Press F to fill it up. Just bring back our subdivision so that our innermost layer is the smoothest. Alright, now press Alt H. This is our first layer, hide it. Now this is our second layer, double click, you go inside of it, press Alt S again to place it inside of it. Something like this will be alright. So I'm facing this issue where my last layer is coming out a bit. So this is our first layer, hide, second layer, hide. This is the last layer. What I'm gonna do is simply select it and select this part and just roughly place it inside. I think, let's see, it doesn't make any difference, but that's it. And now we have all of our layers good to go. Let's break the first layer into its own parts. First of all, you should have your cell fracture add-on enabled. If you go here, this should be an option to enable it. Alright, now just apply the subdivision modifier to the outermost layer. Remember, the more the subdivision, the better this effect will be. Alright, I have 3 subdivisions, Control A, Visual Geometry to Mesh, and I will also apply a solidify modifier, and I will also apply it, Control A, Visual Geometry to Mesh, Objects, Quick Effects, and there is cell fracture. Now personally, these are my settings. Source limit is 500 and margin, just make it 0.0001. Just slide just the margins, click OK, and this is going to take some time. Once done, you will have something like this, and remember, do not click anywhere else, keep it selected and press M, new collection, and we will name these shots. You can name it anything. Just now give it some color as well, and remember, keep this the outermost layer hidden now and hidden from the viewport as well. Now this is our main layer, and now I'm gonna also take this M and press M and also put it inside of shots. Alright, now let's work on this layer. Alright, first of all, hide it as well, and hide it from the viewport as well, from the render as well. Shift A, cube, and let's open up our geometry nodes panel here and press new and delete the spot and just get in this layer, press relative, separate children and plug it in, and now you will have this inside of it. And the first part is to scale them down. As the name suggests, we should spawn in scale instances, and you will see once you play with the scale of it, every shot will be scaled down, but we need an external object to do this. So for that, I'm gonna spawn in a geometry proximity node and also get in a UV sphere and place it there, maybe roughly scale it, and in the viewport display of it, select bound and also spherical, something like this. Go back here and get this sphere inside of the node tree, just hide it from the render mode, press relative, plug this in here, select matte and choose divide here, divide scale by distance, and the tree node setup gives us the info of this object, scale and location. Alright, and I'm gonna get in a color ramp and place this here. Now once I get this in, you will see something is happening, but we want the other way around. Let's flip the color ramp. Now you will see the where the sphere is, those shots are not visible. Let's give it a stronger effect, maybe something like this works. Alright, our first step for this layer is done. Let's give it some rotation as well, as it is scaling down. Now get in rotate instances and plug this in between. I'm gonna get in a map range node. Let's plug this in here and plug the color ramp into the value part. Combine XYZ, or maybe just leave it there. Just plug this right in. Let's rotate every shard into its every axis. All right. Now to min should be set to 1 and to max to 0, and let's play slightly with the minimum value. Maybe something like this works. Now once you increase the sphere scale, the shards are scaling down and rotating as well. So this is a cool effect on its own. So the first layer is done, and now let's work on our second layer. First of all, I will go into the geometry nodes, press new here. Now the idea is that there should be another empty. Let's duplicate it and place it inside of it. Now this empty should delete this geometry. All right, let's get this sphere 001 into here, and I will do not delete this. We need this. All right, first of all, set position, and I want this geometry to come out along its normals. All right, for that, let's get in a node called read normal, or simply type in normal. You will get this, and let's plug this in the offset. You will see it's expanding along its normals. That's what we want. Now let's control this with a vector math, and anything you multiply by 0 is nil, and as you expand this value, it's expanding. Now let's control the socket with our sphere. All right, I'm gonna get in geometry proximity that same 3 node setup. Let's make it up, and now I have this. Let's plug this in, and let's see what's happening right now. So it is expanding. First of all, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna parent this to our main sphere. Let's select this and select this, Control P, object keep transform. All right, now if you select this, it will scale down. All right, first of all, just control it up. Let's increase, just fiddle with the color ramp and see what the sweet spot is. I think this is fine. Now the main thing is that its maximum should be controlled. It should not be coming that much out. Let's control it by adding a map node right at the end. Select it to multiply, and let's control it like how farther it should go. Let's also come here, and I think that's the part. Let's bring it something like this. Now let's see what's happening. Now also one more thing, just increase this up so that they are going one at a time. All right, they should go hand in hand, something like this. And now let's give it some effect. I'm gonna get in a float curve and place it right before multiplier and give it some effect, something like this. And let's see what's happening. Also, let's see, I think we would require more subdivisions on it. I think if you increase the subdivisions here, it will be much cooler. All right, let's increase it. I think it should go up till there, and this should be like this, or maybe just go into the tab view, edit view, and increase the scale of it. And now they are going hand in hand, I think, or no, let's see, I think they are going hand in hand. Now the last part for this is to delete the geometry. I will get in delete geometry and choose another color ramp. Just shift D and plug this value here and plug this value into the selection node, and you will see something else happen. It's deleting, and let's delete it till here. I think that will be okay. Now the more the subdivisions, the better this effect is going to be. Or you can add subdivisions into our main mesh, main node tree, subdivision, subdivide mesh. It should be like this. The more subdivision, the better this effect is. All right, remember, this is up to you. The last thing which you should do is apply a solidify modifier to it, so it has some thickness in the end. And I think it should go inside, and right click, sheet auto smooth. And to get the best out of this, let's add in one more subdivision modifier after the solidify modifier. Alright, now we have got much better effect. Alright, and let's move forward to texturing. Now for texturing, I will not go into very details because these are really simple textures, but I will break it down. Like each of these shard is having this noise texture like this, and this is only acting on the bump map, like normal map, to give it some texture. And this is some basic chocolate color, chocolate brown, and that's that. Let's go into our second layer. This layer has basically the same color, maybe a bit lighter, but the difference is that it has zero roughness. All right, now let's go back to our innermost layer, and here we have basically the same thing. This is our noise texture, which is acting as a bump to give it some, some rough surface. And this is our wave texture. These are my settings, and this is being used as a mask between two colors. Maybe you can take this to white or brown or anything else like that. Alright, so that's that. This is a simple setup. Just copy it down or maybe make your own. Now let's jump into lighting and animation. First of all, get your subdivisions to the lowest in the viewport. Maybe 2 or 3 will work so that it is not heavy. Alright, now let's first of all go into the front view. I will add in a camera. Now for product shots, I like to have a focal length of 75 mm and control nil, and let's create a resolution of 1080 by 1920, and I will simply just drag it back and maybe just take this up, and I will just have it look down on it, something like this. If you press G double Z, it will go back and it will retain its rotation as well. Alright, so we are coming at it like that. Alright, now let's give it some motion. So I've also opened my graph editor here, and let's give the camera some motion now. So I want the camera to start slow and then fast. Alright, first of all, let's designate its final location. I think G double Z, just zoom it in, and I think this is the closest location the camera should go. I give it a keyframe, and let's control T, give it some seconds. For your kind information, I am working at 60 fps. You can either work on 30 if you have some rendering issues, but 60 gives you the smoothest motion. Alright, and let's drag this back now. I think the camera should start from this far. Press I here again, and I will press A and dot on your numpad, press normalize here, and first of all the camera should start slow. I will just drag these points to the far and maybe also take them a bit far, and let's see how the camera is zooming now. Start slow and fast. Let's also take these a bit back, not these, the farther ones, this one. Alright, let's see. Start slow and fast, maybe just drag them down, drag them a bit back. Let's see, slow and fast. This is what we want. Alright, the camera movement is done. Now let's rotate this object, but now you are going to face one critical issue. That is, you can rotate this layer, you can rotate this layer, but this you cannot rotate because it has geometry nodes constraint. The thing is, now you will have to go into the geometry node and add in a transform geometry. You can simply look for it and you can rotate it from there, but still there is an issue because this was actually a cube which had a center there. What you need to do is go here, shift S, cursor to selected, go to the origin of this, select it back the main layer, and right click, set origin to 3D cursor. Now what's gonna happen is When you rotate it, it's going to rotate from the center of this. All right, so it has, I think, all of the two layers have the same origin. Now let's rotate it. So now let's just rotate this object, and you might think this is a bit crazy, but just let rotate this object first. All right, first of all, select the camera and we have to map its movement. All right, just spin it so that when you click on this object, you also see the movement of this. All right, select all. If you press dot on your numpad, you will see its location. Now the transition is happening somewhere around this point, around 60th frame. Around this point, this should start rotating slowly and then just instantly rotate 360 degrees. All right, let's create this motion. I will simply come back here, select this and press I. On I, just insert right click, insert single keyframe on Z axis. All right, for now let's hide our camera layer. Let's come back to this. I will just go a little bit far and apply 360, insert single keyframe here, press A dot on your numpad, decimal, and let's see the movement. Camera is zooming and it should just start slowly like the camera and then instantly rotate. I think, let's see, not good. Let's shift it a bit back. I think this one was a bit fine. Let's take it a bit back, maybe something like this. I think that's what we want. Now the thing is, you have to keep your object always in motion. All right, so I'm gonna come back here just a little bit where it has just started moving. Press I, only selected keyframes, and I'm gonna just drag it a bit back and also drag it, I selected keyframe, the last frame a bit more forward. Let's see. Great, that's what we want. All right, now for the inner layer, this is what I want you to do. Just simply select the stick, the inner layer, select the second layer, control P, object key transform. Select this layer first of all, go here and go to the point where it is just starting. I think that's the point. Press A, control C, copy this curve, come here, insert single keyframe, control V. Now everything should move along together. Alright, that's done. Now this should be scaled to 0 and let's see what's happening, and around here it should start making a move. Let's make it to there, and I will also control T, not control T, control, I think there should be an option, interpolation, right click, interpolation should be linear. Let's see. Nope, not this. Yes, that's the sweet spot. That's done. Now finally, let's come to the lighting part. Let's spawn in a plane RX90. Let's take it back roughly and control A scale, select the package, control B, insert some loop cuts by the scroll wheel. I think that is okay. Let's bring it a bit forward. Also take this to the top. Alright, now let's go to the render view and switch on the scene light and stuff. So this is obviously not rendered because I've shown you how it's done, I mean the materials. Let's get in one light at the back, point light. It should be right at its back. Power should be around 300 and radius, let's increase the radius, or maybe the bottom part should not be visible, like the shadow is being visible, it should not be visible. Alright, so I think it should give a strong black part right at the beginning. Let's increase it to that. I think that's fine. Now one more light at the top, area light, just increase it to 100 or maybe 200. Take it more at the top. I think that is fine. Let's increase it, and I think that's the motion. I will first of all get one more light here, or X or Y 90 or Z 180. Let's make it face that side, and I think let's increase it to, this should be our main light. It should have the most power in the scene. 300. Let's see how it's looking. Too much, maybe 150. Let's increase the size of it. Take this back. Let's see. Right now it's also too much. Let's get one more light at the back side of it. It should not be too much. It should not have, I mean, if you just hide it, you see it's too dark here. Let's get this back. Let's get this to minimal, around 30. Let's take this up a notch. 200, maybe 500, maybe 550. I think that's it. So I've shaded the front part of it so that you can understand the lighting part of it better. The thing is that now I'm noticing that the tilt fracture fucked up a little bit. I mean, you see these are overlapping a bit. So once you have started doing tilt fracture, maybe give it 1 or 2 tries so that this thing can be avoided. So right now you see the black parts are visible. Alright, let's ignore them for now. Let's go forward. As you see now, the back part should be of beige color, maybe something of this, maybe a bit darker. Now the backlight, this should be going towards the wall so that it's creating a lighter tone at the back. Just increase the emission to around 600 and take it to the orange side, and maybe delete it. And one thing that I like to do in the end is to set the look to high contrast or maybe medium high contrast, and I think that's that. One thing, let's increase the roughness of this so that the bottom part is not shiny, specular. If I being accurate, and I think I should also increase the radius of it, and this part. So the sliding part is up to you. You can tweak as much as you want. For me, I think this part is a bit darker. Let's see now. It's going forward and it's revealing now. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Just like and subscribe, and see you in the next part.